On this edition of In the Gun, the Mountaineers have some new throwbacks, and we have another edition of Who Wants to Be a Mountaineer, everybody's favorite trivia game. All that and more on this episode of In the Gun.
You are now watching Believe.
ITG.
With Wes, Owen, and Jed.
I've got the best teammates in the business.
No way!
They both played the game. They both know the game. Owen is the runaway beer truck known for having some fun.
Owen Schmidt, you have a podcast, In the Gun.
Owen Schmidt, like a runaway beer truck down the sidelines.
Jed is the signal caller who is the X's and O's and the brainiac.
Statistically, always punting on fourth down makes no sense.
So we've combined those two skill sets.
Skills I've acquired over a very long career.
You are In the Gun.
Once you enter this family, there's no getting out.
In the Gun, episode 244 of your new favorite WVU football podcast. I'm Wes Schuler, as always, with the best teammates in the business. We've got the co-host slash producer slash Mr. Do-It-All, Skylar Callahan, and, of course, the signal caller who's been hosting a lot of these shows solo recently, Jed Drenning. I am Wes Schuler, and we are, as always, brought to you in part by our friends at Bet Online. The game starts here. And, gentlemen, we start with some new throwback uniforms. No, not this cool Javon Small WVU basketball with the Jerry West patch that I may or may not have gotten for $20 from China that I'm wearing here if you're watching on YouTube. This throwback. Jed, we have some football throwbacks with some unique history and some unique homage being paid that was just announced here in the last couple of days by the football team.
We do. That seems to be in keeping with kind of what a lot of programs and a lot of teams are doing around the country. It obviously piques interest, helps recruiting. Kids are all about the swag. Kids are all about new threads. And also gives you a chance to maybe sell a couple extra jerseys and help the athletic department out. I mean, that's kind of, I think, at the end of the day, that's what it's all about. But as we've talked about so many times, who cares what you're wearing as long as you're winning games? And I know that's what Rich is all about. But when you look at this 1965 uniform, I've often said, people that say we want to get back to our originals, give us the original, the uniform that we're known for. And I'm like, you mean the one that kind of looks just like Michigan on television? Like, okay, that's fine, and I love that too. That's the look that I'm most fond of. I always thought it would be pretty cool if we had our modern uniform with the old gold, and not the gold that we've since 1980 worn, which again I love. But the old gold is the 1965 uniform. I'd like to see what the new uniform would look like with old gold, because, people are probably sitting there thinking, well, Jed, you said it looks like Michigan with our modern uniforms. Well, these kind of look like Notre Dame. Look, if you go back far enough in college football, there's not a team in America that didn't look like Notre Dame.
Exactly.
They all kind of ran together. I mean, just about every team in America looked like Notre Dame at some point. And I wonder who Notre Dame looked like. They probably look like Fordham if you go back. I don't know, But I think it's interesting. I think it's kind of cool. It has a different logo on the helmet, so it stands out and pops with that old gold helmet. But yeah, it looks pretty slick. I mean, I'm not against it. I don't mind the idea of once a year, if you do something a little different, you have 12 games. I'll put it to you like this. If you have 12 games to pick from and you have all these different uniform combinations, I don't mind if once every year or two, one of your 12 games is spent with some alternate uniform that you have a growing list of, that you keep releasing a new one every handful of years. To me, that's better than, hey, we have a million uniform combinations. Let's wear the same 4 in 12 games every year. Let's wear the same white uniform 62 times in 4 years. I'd rather see something like this than the same thing over and over and over, as long as we have opportunities to wear our traditional gold and blue that we've all come to know and love. I mean, what do you guys think about it?
Yeah, I mean, I don't want to be Penn State where you got 2 options and that's it. I'll tell you that. But I mean, I like
right,
them.
yeah.
I like the simplicity of it. I love the old gold helmet with the baby blue. I think it looks really sweet. I'm just glad Well, I can't say that there's not going to be a gray uniform because I don't know. That still might be in the rotation, but I would much rather have this in the rotation than the gray uniforms where you see the 17 pounds of sweat on the jersey by the end of the first quarter. So hopefully, Ren, this is a message to you. Get rid of the grays. Keep these. Maybe get another throwback, say like the 88 uniform, 93, somewhere in there.
Yeah, that's a good call. Good call.
Yeah,
Wes?
I'm somewhere in the middle. Like, I am not naive. I understand this is the stuff that you do to get attention, to get social media pop, to excite young recruits and the young guys that are playing for your team that love this kind of stuff. To, as you mentioned, Jed. I mean, again, I'm sitting here wearing a throwback. I got this Jerry West throwback hat that we sold back during the basketball season. You make hats, you make T-shirts, you make jerseys, you make hoodies and jackets, all that kind of stuff. It's more merchandise money, all of that. And I think what Skylar said is absolutely accurate. I don't want to be Alabama or Penn State where we're like, yeah, we do it this way because this is the way we did it in 1960, and we're simple color palette and boring black shoes, and we're never doing anything different. Like, I don't want that. But I am also, if we're being completely honest, I'll be the guy who says it. I have a little bit of fatigue with this now as well, too, because while I don't want to be Penn State or Alabama, I also don't want to be Oregon or Maryland. I do want to find a happy medium, and it just feels like we've been doing this a lot. Neil Brown got the WVU in 2018, and we tweaked our uniforms. And then when Shane Lyons left and Ren Baker came in, there was another tweak to the uniforms. And we've had the gray alternates, and we've had a bunch of different helmets, and we had Cole Rush just last year. They're fine. I don't want to sound like a get off my lawn old kind of guy, and I really do think the helmet is sharp. But I also am always cognizant of, like, sometimes I do think there is something to be said of being recognizable, and you turn the TV on and, oh, that's WVU, and you're not wearing something different all the time. I do have a little fatigue for it, but also I do think they are sharp. I do think the kids, the athletes are the ones who like this stuff, and that's what really matters. And it can make more money and get more attention for your brand and for your athletic department. So I'm cool with all of that. I just had to throw in that curmudgeon-y, like, I don't want to be Penn State or Alabama, but I don't want to be Oregon or Maryland either.
The one thing that irks me the most is you see every year, like in the summer where there's nothing going on, you see these uniform rankings and helmet rankings, and you see Notre Dame, Penn State, Alabama, Texas, Michigan, Ohio State. Like, it's the most boring helmets out there. Like, you have the flying WV, it's beautiful looking. I mean,
it's like the Yankees pinstripes. Like, there is something to be said for that classic, that classic look.
I get the classic part of it, but, like, come on, like,
it's also a bit boring.
Like a longhorn on a white helmet. Like,
what do we think? The Cleveland Browns helmets are cool too, right? Just because they're just a color with a stripe down the middle.
And the Cleveland Browns at the NFL level are the opposite of Alabama and Penn State at the college level.
Yes. If you're Alabama and the Yankees and Notre Dame, you can get away with it because you do enough winning.
Yeah, you have enough brand equity that.
But you're the Pirates. You better be dropping some cool uniforms.
That's right. When you think about why Don Nehlen did this, and he said this many times, it's well chronicled. When he arrived from the staff at Michigan, where he was an assistant with Bo, and took over the program in 1980, he didn't like the fact that he's watching tape. It wasn't easy to stand out and tell who West Virginia was. Or when you're watching one on TV, to your point, Wes, from a brand equity standpoint or a brand recognition standpoint, he wanted to make it consistently recognizable. Well, I will say this: forget the uniforms for a minute. Coach Nehlen, mission accomplished. You had a hand in ushering in one of the most recognizable logos in the free world. Yep. It was under your auspices and under your watch that we got the flying WV, which did not exist. We all know the story until 1980. That logo in Wes's hands, for those not watching on YouTube. Yes, Coach Nehlen, you established that recognition and that ability to recognize. And at a glance, it didn't exist until 1980 with that logo. Now, the combinations of uniforms, I don't know if that's as big a deal as one of the most recognizable logos in all of sports, which I truly think we're blessed to have now and have had for 45 plus years. I think he accomplished his mission with that. That's something at West Virginia that West Virginia never had. They bounced around from quirky different helmet logos. They couldn't necessarily settle on anything. You brought the flying WV to West Virginia. You made it recognizable. You gave us that. You gifted us that. Mission accomplished. It's not about the gold and blue and kind of looking like Michigan, but kind of not. It's not about the old gold and blue, kind of looking like Notre Dame, but kind of not. You gave us one of the greatest logos in the world when you were setting out to make sure that when people looked at West Virginia, they knew who we were. The fact that that logo means so much to so many, mission accomplished. Now we can have some fun with the uniforms. I agree. You want a default setting that's recognizable to your average fan, and you're going to have, in a perfect world, we want 7 home games. That's what you're striving for. A 12-game schedule, you want 7 home games. So I still like the idea and the notion of each year you have a stripe of stadium. So you're going to have the traditional gold and blue. You're going to have a gold rush, so that's some form of primarily gold. And then you're going to have a true blue, usually around Veterans Day, right? Some form of a monochrome blue, uniform, some combination of that. But I don't mind the idea of maybe one of those 7 is an alternate uniform weekend. I don't know. Maybe it's when you play your FCS opponent. I don't know what it might be. If you have a growing list of these alternate uniforms, and then every few years when it so fits, you can work in a cold rush or whatever, as long as you're getting a heavy enough dose of the traditional threads that we like, I don't mind once or twice a year mixing in something a little different instead of, as I said, seeing the same all white uniform 4 times every year. I got so sick of seeing that when we had so many options that we never even used in those old uniform sets. Mm-hmm. So I would take this, and I agree with you, Skylar, that gray, I'm not a big enough uniform guy to object to many things. That all gray was wretched. That was just wretched. So please do away with that. I mean, I didn't mind the gray as an enhancer, like when you had the gray bottoms and all white tops, something like that. But I would much rather have something like this from an alternate standpoint, or a throwback or something, whatever the case might be. Like, look at the Steelers in those Bumblebee uniforms. Wes, you know better than anybody. They kind of caught on in a weird way, and they surface every so often, and there's a weird buzz about them, no pun intended, when they do wear them. So I don't mind alternate options if it helps raise a couple extra bucks, if it helps entertain an extra recruit or two. I'm all for that, as long as we also have a steady enough diet of what we're used to.
More gear is never a bad thing. My wife's going to have to deal with me spending a couple $100 on some new WVU stuff after having said that I'm just getting fatigue on all the new WVU stuff.
10 and 2, what do people say?
Say that again?
Those uniforms are awesome. You go 10 and 2.
Oh, yeah, right. Exactly right. Best uniforms ever.
But hey, you go 5 and 7. You're too focused on uniforms.
That's
what are you worried about all that?
That's why, like, our favorite uniforms in school history are the ones that Major Harris wore and the ones that Pat White wore.
Right. Yeah.
Put 2 and 2 together there. Yeah. Easy to decide. Another thank you to our friends at Toothman Ford for being a presenting sponsor of In the Gun. We all know cars cost less in Grafton. Big shout out to JR and everybody there at Team Toothman. When we return on the other side, another thrilling edition of Who Wants to Be a Mountaineer? You are In the Gun.
For nearly 20 years, Fortis has been the nation's leader in providing guaranteed roof performance programs for commercial buildings. Fortis offers roof performance solutions that feature extensive initial and ongoing reconditioning for commercial buildings as an alternative to traditional replacement, with long-term performance guarantees that are backed by global leader Lloyd's of London. Fortis offers a comprehensive range of roof performance management programs that provide financial security, extend the life of our customers' roofs, and make a significant impact on ROI. Fortis is currently improving performance and increasing ROI for customers at more than 4,800 locations, with more than 140 million square feet protected, including many Fortune 500 companies that have turned to Fortis to save money, gain financial certainty, and extend the life of their existing roofs. Fortis has helped customers save more than $520 million in capital roof replacement costs for an average ROI of over 250%. To learn more, visit fortis.us.com. Fortis, roof performance and financial certainty guaranteed.
Nobody supports the blue and gold Mountaineers like Toothman Ford. With over 20 NIL deals and counting, Toothman Ford continues to rally behind our student athletes. And it's time we rally and support the dealer that supports the Mountaineers. Not only does Toothman Ford offer the best prices in the state on pre-owned, their never over MSRP campaign on new Fords guaranteed to save you thousands. Drive with pride all season long, knowing you're supporting the dealer that fuels our Mountaineers. Toothman Ford, where cars cars cost less in Grafton and at toothmanford.com.
All right, boys, let's go.
One side of the stadium filled with 60,000 plus is yelling, "Let's go," and the other side is yelling, "Mountaineer."
We want to tell you the stuff we're not good at, our weaknesses, so we're clear up front.
Owen's cracking up.
You just lost to your own game. You're outgunned and outmanned.
Who wants to be
A Mountaineer?
That's a great question.
Keep your tears in your eyes where they belong.
Stupid! Stupid!
Back in the gun here as we roll along, and ladies and gentlemen, it is time for another episode of the game show burning across America and Mountaineer Nation. It is your favorite Mountaineer trivia game, Who Wants to Be a Mountaineer? Your host, Jed Drenning.
Thank you, sir. We all by now know the rules. 4 questions in each half. Point value increases as the difficulty of the questions increase. In the second half, the point value doubles. Then we have a speed round, and then we have the final question. So, gentlemen, start your engines. Question number 1 to kick off the first half. 1 point, so it should be pretty simple. 3 options are on the table. This Mountaineer quarterback described his 321-yard, 4-touchdown performance in WVU's 1982 upset at Oklahoma thusly: "I just threw him up, and the good Lord collected him." Text me your answers. Was it Oliver Luck, Kevin White, or Jeff Hostetler?
Shame on you for
All right, you both nailed that one. All right.
Get that one wrong.
You both nailed that one. You keeping score with me, Wes?
I am, yes. That makes it 1 apiece.
Thank you. Okay, thank you. All right. Question number 2 worth 2 points. Increase in difficulty a little bit. 3 options are on the table. WVU standout Adam Pac-Man Jones was selected by the Tennessee Titans in the first round of the 2006 NFL Draft. With what overall pick? Was it A, 6th, B, 9th, C, 12th? Text me your answers. I'll tell you what, you guys are on the ball. You didn't even hesitate. Was there any doubt?
Nah.
It's A.
I could have told you that. I could have told you that without the multiple choice.
These are the weird things that I have in the back of my mind, but then my wife gets mad at because I can't forget or remember what she just told me 5 minutes ago.
Yeah.
Well said.
I know Pac-Man Jones was picked 6th overall by the Titans in 2006, but I'll forget to take the trash out tonight after we're done recording this.
All right. Moving on to question number 3. What a brisk pace we have, gentlemen. Question number 3. Pro Football Hall of Famer. Yeah, that's right. Pro Football Hall of Famer Earl Neal, who served as WVU's head coach from 1931 to 1933, was best known by what slippery nickname? Was it A, Slick, B, Oil Can, or C, Greasy? Text me your answers, gentlemen.
I'm not going to lie. I'm shooting from the hip here.
Okay.
I think I know this one, but I could be wrong.
Okay. Let me see here. Wes says A, Slick. Skylar says C, Greasy. It is C, Earl Greasy Neal.
Dang, Sky. Nice.
The Sky goes up to 6 points.
I was gonna say that's a 3-pointer, right?
That's a 3-pointer. And
Kobe.
Now yeah, good. What's that, Wes?
I said Kobe. You said that's a 3-pointer. Okay. I said Kobe.
Question number 4 to wrap up, maybe the fastest first half in Who Wants to Be a
These are two teams history. Running. This is ground and pound football here.
It is. That's what it is. Back and forth, back and forth. Okay. Difficulty increases as the point value increases, so you expect somewhat of a tricky question at number 4. The idea is to get you to hear the question, get excited, thinking I know this, and then put a twist in it.
Sure.
Ready? Greer lobs it in the air. What down was it when Will Greer connected with Gary Jennings for the now legendary 33-yard touchdown strike at Texas with 16 seconds remaining in 2018? Greer's touchdown to Gary Jennings.
Down
was it? Was it A, first down, B, second down, C, third down? To wrap up the first half, 4 points are on the board. Okay. Wes, you say A, first down. Skyler, you say C, third down. The correct answer, gentlemen, the call by Gus Johnson was made on 1st and 10. So 4 points for Wes.
Needed it.
Taking the score, Wes gets 7 at
Will Greer.
halftime. Skyler at 6. We got a battle.
The only reason that I was pretty sure it was first down is because I remember we had picked up a first down, and then Will's like at the line of scrimmage, like, what are we doing? Trying to communicate. And I'm screaming at the TV just because we still had a timeout. I'm like, take the timeout, take the timeout. Yeah, I'm an idiot. Good, well done, Greer. Well done.
If he was doing that, he wouldn't have been doing that after a clock play. You know what I'm saying? He didn't just spike the ball, right? So you do that. So good inference there. Okay, good inference. So 7-6 at the half. We have any housekeeping, Wes?
We do. We would like to thank our good friend Rick Lewis and all the good people at Fortis for roof performance and financial certainty guaranteed. You got to visit fortis.us.com. Gentlemen, exciting first half in the books, neck and neck. And we will be back on the other side. Or wait, are we just keep rolling? Because we took a commercial break already. We're just going to keep rolling and then
we're good.
How do you tell me? You're the host. You're Alex Trebek. I'm just a participant.
Tyler, you're producing this thing.
Why don't we keep it rolling here and then we could take one more quick break before the final question? How about that to set up the drama?
We'll do that. There we go. Okay, so starting the second half.
Kids, for you kids listening at home, that's what you call building the plane while you're flying it.
That is. Point values double in the second half. So, gentlemen, question number 1 for 2 points to start the second half. Remember, still hovering out there somewhere is your nut check question, in which you can gamble whatever you've so far earned. Question number 1 worth 2 points. This is not the nut check. This WVU signal caller tossed 6 touchdowns in the 1998 backyard brawl before going on to an NFL career that saw him ultimately beat out former league MVP Kurt Warner to lead the greatest show on turf with the St. Louis Rams. Was it A, Mark Bulger, B, Chad Johnston, Dr. Chad Johnston, or C, Brad Lewis?
Skyler, if you don't get this, we're friends off.
Yeah, I think we're pretty good there.
I've said many times, Jed, my first vivid WVU memory at 7 years old, being at this game with my mom, and Mark Bulger going wild on his hometown Pitt Panthers, who did not offer him a scholarship.
I'm just kidding.
You both got it correct. It is Mark Bulger A in the route of the
Panthers. My mom and I had some fun at that one. Three Rivers Stadium.
Yeah, how about that? You forgot that little, group of games. I mean, we had the game. What was it? What was the last game at Three Rivers in the backyard brawl? Was it 2000?
They beat us in the last one there.
Yes, you're correct.
2000, yeah. I believe so.
Okay.
Or was it 99? No, it was 2000. I think it was 2000. Yeah. Well, yeah, because 98 would have been Bulger, so yeah.
Somebody had like a 200-yard rushing game for them.
Yes, one of their running backs. It was not any of their big name guys who had success in the NFL, but yeah.
It was just so frustrating. Okay,
yes. Which is it's funny because Jed, like if this is who wants to be a Panther, which the answer to that is nobody. But
that's right.
Like one of their trivia questions would probably be which running back ran for a bunch of yards against WVU in 2000, because everybody would be like, wait, it's not any of the 4 or 5 big name running backs we could mention. Who was that? Yeah.
That's right. So, what's funny?
They got the last one at Three Rivers, but we won the first one at Heinz Field, now Acrisure Stadium, with Rasheed Marshall, the hometown guy, getting it done for the Mountaineers that game.
What's funny is I ran into a friend of mine. I had a meeting in Atlanta last week, and this coworker used to be in my district, and she's a Pitt grad. Despite that, she's a pretty good gal. I always tell her she's my favorite of all 6 Pitt fans. But the last day of the meeting, we were encouraged to wear our, favorite team logo, whatever the case might be. So she comes downstairs at the Omni there in Atlanta. And that morning she's wearing her pit thing and she comes up to me and I'm sitting there with two friends and she walks by the table. Hey, Jed, what do you think? I said, you notice you're by yourself, don't you? I said, you're probably used to that. Poor gal.
You need to
Anyway,
wash that thing. We could smell you coming from a mile
that's
away.
right.
Jeez.
That's right.
Oh, this just in. Who Wants to Be a Panther on Friday, 7 o'clock on Comedy Central.
That's true. Yeah. If you know the answer to this and you want to admit it, please leave it in the comments who that running back actually was. Please leave it in the comments. And going on with this, the same gal, the same friend of mine, one of her college friends was a Pitt cheerleader. And I met her like last year at a meeting because we had a meeting down around where she lives. So she came over to the hotel, like hanging out with our district. And what I remember is this gal had been to 80 Pearl Jam concerts.
Jeez.
80.
They're in Pittsburgh. They're in Pittsburgh
yeah,
this weekend.
Right? And oh wow, how about that? Talk about fortuitous. But I said, look, I don't think I've done anything in my life 80 times. I've been to McDonald's 80 times. And you've been to 80 Pearl Jam concerts? And I was thinking, I said, look, I have a theory on why you do this. And she said, what's your theory? I said, well, you were a Pitt cheerleader for 4 years. So obviously you graduated and left Pittsburgh with a tremendous hunger and unsatisfied appetite for large crowds.
Mm-hmm.
So now you spend the rest of your life going to large stadium crowds for
Mm-hmm.
Pearl Jam to meet that need that you never met as a pitcher. So anyway.
Jed, that's impressive. I work with somebody who's seen Bruce Springsteen like 60 some times, but 80 is that's a big number. That's a big number. Now, I say that who's someone, by my calculations, I've been to 92 WVU football home games in my lifetime alone. That doesn't count road games or bowl games, or basketball or baseball or soccer. But yeah, yes, we all got our things.
Here's one fundamental difference. The vast majority of those has been in Morgantown, not Kansas City and Seattle and Baltimore.
Right. 90 minute drive from my house. Yeah.
That's right. Yeah. Okay. So moving on to question number 2. We're setting all kinds of records, including the longest question number 1 to start the second half. Question number 2, worth 4 points. The longest rushing play of Tavon Austin's brilliant career at West Virginia was an 80-yard touchdown dash against what school? Was it A, Oklahoma, or was it B, Rutgers? Please text me your answer.
Quick question, sir. This is like my country of origin question. Did you say it was a touchdown run or just an 80-yard run?
It's a touchdown run. Yep. It's you dogs. Both of you said B, Rutgers, and both of you are correct. In the snow at Rutgers in a 41-1 win in 2011, we were down, remembering that game. That was the stretch run we had to win the Big East Dana's first year here. We had to win those last 4 all critical league games. We were down 31-21 at the half in that. It was really snowing like crazy. Mm-hmm. And we came from behind and outscored them 20-0 in the second half to win 41-31. One of the things I remember about that, I should have brought it down here for show and tell. My big winter MSN jacket, I have a couple of them, but this was the original MSN, the old Mountaineer Sports Network logo. I had it on that day, and I still have like the one wrist side of it is burnt from the sideline heater because I got too close.
Like melted. Yeah. The polyester melted.
It tore part of the plastic and it became almost part of me. But yeah, I still got that. Every time I put that jacket on, I think of that win at Rutgers.
That was the Eric LeGrand game, right? Where they honored him?
I believe so.
Yes, it was. It was. Yes, it certainly was. And I've told that story before. I stood there as he was bringing the team out. And I'm telling you what, to not be in tears.
Onions.
Yeah. If you didn't get emotional at that, or like when UConn ran out on a Mountaineer field with their teammate's jersey who had just passed away the week before, if that stuff doesn't jam you up, you might not have a soul. not to be critical.
Well said. But okay, so that was 4 points, taking our score to 13-12. Moving on to question number 3, which is worth 6 points in the second half. Or is it? Nut check.
Nut check. Nut check.
Nut
check.
13 to 12, you can gamble up to what you have earned so far. So text me your gambles, and then I will give you the question. It's worth 6 points plus whatever you gamble here. Oh, wow. I see some strategy going on here. I like it. I like it. Okay. Okay. Right. Okay. In honor of Owen. Okay. I want to use in honor of Owen here. All right. Okay. Now, I guess I can tell you what you both gambled for the question. 6 points plus. Skylar, you gambled 10. Wes, you gambled all 13 of your points. So here we go. Ironically enough, the question is about the beer truck. How many kickoffs did Owen Schmidt return during his career at WVU?
Oh, gosh.
2 or 3?
Golly. Oh.
6 points plus what you gambled.
I just went right away with my gut. Didn't even think about it.
That's what I'm doing. Shot in the dark here.
Okay. So let's see here. Wes, you said 2. Skylar, you said 3. Correct answer. Owen returned 2 kickoffs for 34 yards in his career. And the 34-17 loss to Tech in Morgantown in 2005. Owen fielded Jared DeVelli's kickoff at the 21 and returned it to the 41. His other return was 14 yards in a 2006 win over Maryland. So
that's my dog, Leo.
Maybe there's an onside kick recovery somewhere in there.
Skylar's going to go for
Does that take you to 32, Wes? And then Skylar, you go to.
I'm out of field goal.
You go to
32 to 3. Oh, this game can flip quickly.
32 to 2. I got you at 2.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
I'm sorry. Yeah.
I have a safety. That's even more embarrassing. I'd rather have 0.
Okay, so the nut check is behind us, gentlemen. But question number 4, nonetheless, is worth 8 points. Okay. Here we go. In 2023, Beanie Bishop became just the 13th consensus All-American in the history of WVU football. Of course, we've since had another in Wyatt Milam. Which of the following Mountaineer greats?
What did you say?
Greats.
Oh.
Was not a consensus All-American. Which one of these 3 was not? Was it A, Mike Compton? Was it B, Sam Huff? Or was it C, Canute Curtis? Which one was not a consensus All-American? Compton, Huff, or Canute Curtis?
This is for 8 points, correct?
For 8 points, you are correct. Okay, both your answers are in. Skylar, you said Canute. Wes, you said Sam Huff. Huff was named first-team All-American by NEA Service, Look Magazine, Jet Magazine, and NBC TV, in addition to earning first-team academic All-American, but didn't meet the criteria for consensus All-American. You must garner the majority of first-team recognition by the 5 All-American teams.
I thought I remembered that.
You're correct. It was not, strangely enough, Sam Huff was not a consensus All-American.
Damn.
Well done. Okay, so that takes you to 40. Sky, you stay at 2.
I walked off the field.
We got a speed round coming up, and then we got our final question.
Before we do all of that, another thank you to our friends at Johnston Equipment for being part of this whole ITG family here. Make sure you're checking out Johnston Equipment on Route 33 between Weston and Buchanan.
All right, so remember the speed round, I give you a category and I give you 2 names. You tell me which of the 2 names fits that category. Okay. First, text me your answer promptly, gentlemen. More career 300-yard passing games. Geno Smith or Will Grier? Oh. Okay. Second question. More career receiving yards. James Jett or Reggie Rimbert?
Mm.
Finally, more career interceptions. Russell Douglas or Daryl Worley?
Ooh.
Yeah, that's a tough one. Gosh. Career
All
in,
right.
right?
I'm in.
Okay.
Career
Each of
interceptions,
these
right?
points. What's that?
Career
The career,
interceptions.
yeah.
Okay.
That's right. Each of these is 2 points. So let's go back through. More career 300-yard passing games, Gino or Will Greer. You both said Greer. It is Greer. He had 19 to 17 by Gino. So you both get 2 points there. It takes West 42, you to 4. Okay. More career receiving yards, James Jett or Reggie Rimbert. Wes, you said Reggie. Sky, you said James Jett. James Jett had 1384 to Reggie's 1366. So you get 2 more for that. Okay. More career interceptions, Russell Douglas or Daryl Worley. You both went with Daryl Worley. He had 10. Russell Douglas had 9. You both got that correct. Well done. Sets the stage. We want to take a break before final Mountaineer, I guess we call it. The final question.
Yeah, tell me the score you got, Jed.
I have 44 to 8.
Oh, brother, this guy stinks!
Hopefully that's the score heading into the third quarter against RMU Labor Day weekend. All right. We're going to break here one more time quickly. On the other side, final question. Now, there is some strategy in this. I know everyone's probably thinking, okay, well, this is easy. I mean, Wes has it in the bag. There's a reasonable temptation for me to kind of go all in or pretty darn close here. And I'll tell you why when we return. How about that for a little tease for you? Wes Euler, Jed Drenning, Skylar Callahan, the exciting conclusion when we return. You are in the gun.
At Coyote, we're going to treat you like dirt because we hold dirt in the highest regard. We're honored to find it under our fingernails. It keeps us humble, honest. If you know us, you know getting treated like dirt means getting treated with respect. Coyote, we dig dirt.
Now at Johnston Equipment, get 0% financing or a free loader with low-rate financing on select Coyote models in stock.
Come check out our new Coyotes at Johnston Equipment.
Back in the gun here, and gentlemen, I believe, and I could be totally wrong on this, I need to go back and look, but off the top of my head, I think it's like 74 or 76 is our all-time scoring record in this game. So there is some temptation for me to push a lot of these to the center of the table and maybe set a scoring record. But I could also play with fire and end up getting it wrong, and Skylar gets it right, and he gets a dramatic of all dramatic victories, like the Winnipeg Jets the other night when they were down 3-1 with like 2 minutes left, and they won Game 7, yeah, and scored with 1.6 seconds left.
Well, the caveat, you have to gamble at least half of what you have. But you're right.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure if you gambled
like
at all,
70. It was something in the mid 70s was our record. I want to say from last year.
I could say 88 would break it, but I don't know what it was.
I think 88 would definitely break it, but yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. But you have to gamble at least half. I'll give you before you put your wagers up. I think I gave you the topic first, and then you text me your wager. Correct? Is that what we do?
I believe so. Yes.
Simply enough, the topic is the first of many.
Well, I think I'm gonna have to go all in here. So.
Oh, really?
Yeah, you roll it all. You roll it all.
There is
there
is no way for me to do a bet. I think that would give me the best of both worlds. That even if I got it wrong, I would still be guaranteed to beat Skylar. But if I got it right, I would set the scoring record because I'd come up just a little bit short.
You'd come up short. You would.
I'm going to go.
So you could go all in -1 and still win if I get it wrong.
Because I think you'd have to go.
True.
Wes, you'd have to go at least like 32.
I'd have to go at least 32.
Secure.
Yep.
So
which
that
would give
leave you
Skylar
the 12. But if he goes all in, he's 16. So you're
correct.
Out. So what I'm saying is, if you're going to do something other than the 22 required, you might as well go 44. If
Correct.
you're going to try and break
Correct.
the record, you might as well go for 88.
Shatter it.
I'm going with 22. All right. You can call me soft, whatever. You know what this is all about? It's all about winning. All right. Records are great. The Warriors in 2017, right? They won 70 million games, but they lost in the NBA final. That's all the people remember.
I think we could dare him into it, Skyler, but
I'll wager 20. I'll wager 22.
I was going to say,
You got to get your wins
I know
when you can. You got to get your wins when
I
you
know
can. I
he's
was on an off day.
NBA.
It's going to
I thought
happen.
WVU was on more than that, but I said,
You guys are trying to shame me into taking a victory that I've earned here.
guess what? If you were all in, I'd be telling you you're stupid for not using the strategy.
Yeah,
Say,
that's exactly.
You can't win.
This is an important lesson to you kids. All right. When you're at the gambling table and you're way far ahead, walk away. All right.
Yeah.
Doubles, you can win a lot of games hitting singles and doubles. You don't always have to swing for the fences.
Okay. So the first of many, gentlemen.
If I know this, I'm going to be so mad.
As I always say about these questions, these final questions, often if you know it, you probably know it right away.
Mm-hmm.
If you have to think about it, you're going to be like, oh boy. Okay. Here we go. The first of many. Geno Smith threw a school record, 98 touchdown passes during his career at WVU. 98. Question is pretty simple. What team did Geno's first touchdown pass as a Mountaineer come against?
Oh, it's between two teams. I was there, and I can't remember.
And this is not multiple choice, correct?
No.
I think I know. Well,
text me your answers when you
I think I have no idea, but
it's between two.
You got Skyler.
Oh, you know what? I'm going to go against my gut here. Not that it matters, but I'm going to go against my gut.
That's your answer. Did you send it, Skyler?
Yeah.
I didn't get it yet.
Well, I already texted my answer in, so if you just want to say it, you can.
I got Wes's.
My guess was Coastal.
Okay, let's go CCU.
It's a good guess.
Okay. All right. You guessed Coastal. I get the text. That worries me. You guessed Coastal.
That's because I texted my wife.
Oh, there you go. She's like, what?
She's like, what?
Don't drag her in our twisted world. Poor gal. Wes, you went with Florida State. I understand your logic there. He did, in fact, go the entire second half of the Gator Bowl in relief of an injured Jarrett Brown. What I remember about that is the first time I saw Geno take the field was at Auburn at Jordan Hare. And I often say he had orphan Annie eyes when he first went in. He was warming up on the sideline. But by the time that Gator Bowl rolled around, he was cool as a cucumber. At halftime, he was into it. He was engrossed. He was chipping, two-way conversation. The correct answer, Geno's first TD pass as a Mountaineer was a 33-yard scoring strike to Ulrich Arnett in the fourth quarter of a 24-7 win over Marshall in 2009.
I knew it. I changed my damn answer.
Coastal, not Florida State. It is Marshall in 2009. So that puts our final
hospital
side
back corner. Hospital side back corner.
That's right. Yep.
Damn it.
And it was misty, kind of overcast and a little wet. 22-0 is our final score. That was 24-7, the 2009 win over Marshall by Stu and company.
Was Coastal that year, or was it?
I don't think Coastal was that year. We opened with Coastal.
Maybe
it was a shutout.
Yeah.
Was it 2009?
I can look it up for you right now.
It may have been.
2009 WVU football schedule: beat Liberty, beat East Carolina, lost to Auburn, beat Colorado. That was the non-con.
And the Liberty game was ugly.
Yes, 33-20, we won that game.
You know what? I bet it was 2010. It was. It was that
The
number
Coastal
3
game?
ranked defense. Yeah, because that was the shutout.
2010, we opened with Coastal 31-0. Yep, and then
it's that defense. They didn't do anything.
So I had some
then the
idea.
hilarious comeback against Marshall the final week, where those dorks finally thought they had us, and then their kicker missed a chip shot. Yeah, that was a lot of fun. Enjoyed that one.
Yeah, that's I don't know if I've ever said it on the air. I don't know if I should. The exchange between the head coaches after that game in Huntington that night. I have to tell you guys off the air.
That would have still been Stu, right? Yeah,
Stu.
That was still Stu.
Doc.
I hope Stu went up to Doc and whoever Marshall's AD at the time was and said, "Thanks, we're never coming back here again. See ya." Crotch chop, Degeneration X style.
Yeah, we went out there for the handshake.
But you go to Athens, Ohio. Yeah, sign a 2-for-1, nerds. They did. Not to be critical. Not to be critical. This was fun, guys.
So,
a good episode. Good addition here.
If you haven't had a chance, we dropped an episode Sunday breaking down what we thought was. We even told you in the episode we dropped it, hey, pay attention because there's going to be more additions to the portal after this drops. I think I broke down 15 or 16 kids in an episode. Right afterwards, we added 5 more. So sure enough, it's dynamic. It's a moving target. But yeah, we haven't broken down those 5 newest additions. But it's they've been really active in the portal since that April window, as anticipated. We knew that was coming. But a lot going on that front. So anyway, yeah, keep an eye on that, and we'll be back for more of that kind of content as well. But we're going to have a series coming up on Rich's offense too. We'll be spending some time in the off season in addition to more of this kind of stuff. We always like to have fun with the trivia, but we're going to do a dive into Rich's offense, what makes it tick, how it started, that kind of stuff. It'll be a series we do, and then of course we got to talk about Zach Alley's defense. There's a lot of stuff to cover this time of year. It's always so much content that you can't keep up with it, to be honest with you.
Yeah, every time we think that we're hitting a slow phase, something happens. And when you've got 60, 70 new portal editions, you'll tend to have that, certainly. And so, yeah, we're not going anywhere. You know where to find us.
If we didn't give a shout out to baseball, Wes, I mean, we'd be remiss. So I just quick shout out to Coach Sabins and what they got going on over there. Wow, with a capital W.
Speaking of, right?
I was just going to say, speaking of that school who, you can smell them coming from a mile away, the Mountaineers are up 6-5 on those guys in Oakland, into the 6th inning right now as we speak. Good stuff. A lot of fun as always on this edition of Who Wants to Be a Mountaineer. Let us know how you did with the answers in the comments as always, and we will be back soon. The one thing we ask of you, the one thing we ask of you as always, is to be an ear and tell an ear about your new favorite WVU football podcast. For the beer Chuck Big O, the signal caller Jed Drenning, and the co-host / producer Skylar Callahan, I'm Wes Schuler. Take care, everybody. We'll talk to you soon. You've been in the gun.
ITG.
The fun doesn't have to stop here.
Be sure to hit subscribe and never miss an episode.
If you have any questions, suggestions, or feedback,
be sure to follow us on X at In the Gun Podcast.
Join us again next time.
Until then,
tell an ear to tell an ear about your new favorite WVU football podcast.
This mission is over. It's over.